Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 18 of season 3 of the F1 2019 Haas Road to Glory career mode, where today we're here back for the Mexican Grand Prix, and hopefully, like I said in the last one, we're going to try and be a little bit more consistent with this series over the next couple of weeks. Obviously I've got a few things going on, as I'm sure everyone is well aware, going on in the world that might make content a little bit inconsistent on the channel, but I am certainly trying my hardest nonetheless to continue bringing you guys more of the Haas Road to Glory. As well, I'm hoping to potentially be bringing another series to the channel once the Mick Schumacher career mode has been completed. If you missed out on the last couple of videos of that series that went live over the last couple of days, I would highly recommend going back and checking those videos out as well. But yeah, heading though into round 18 of the F1 2019 career mode. You know, we're doing alright at the moment. It's been an up and down season once again. At the moment, currently we're just focusing on getting the car ready for season 4, all the R&D changes that are coming in for that. So obviously we will, you know, at the moment we're not making much progress in season 3, but we are putting all our eggs into the metaphorical season 4 basket. But though, in terms of the bigger picture, Max Verstappen is looking to try and build up his championship lead. He can't mathematically wrap up the title just yet, and neither can Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship, but they can certainly almost, you know, one hand on the trophy sort of vibes in this series nonetheless. Though meanwhile, we are just trying to score points here and where possible in this series. You know, if an opportunity opens up, we're certainly trying to get it. But here we are then, having a look at the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. It's Sebastian Vettel on pole ahead of Nico Hülkenberg there, joining him alongside him on the front row. Pierre Gasly in P3 ahead of Valtteri Bottas 4th. Verstappen all the way down in 5th ahead of Perez, Leclerc, Weber, Hamilton and Ricciardo rounding out the top 10 there. Devon Butler, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Lance Stroll, myself and Grosjean make up the 8th row. Raikkonen, Albon, and then Kvyat and Giovinazzi make up the rear of the field. But yes, we're ready then. It's time for the Mexican Grand Prix. Hopefully, we can have a bit of a recovery drive from P16 on the grid. But a very long race ahead of us. Obviously, 36 laps around at this Mexican GP circuit. It is actually one of the longer races on time, despite, you know, a couple of very big straights. Not really a particularly low-speed track. It just does take a while at the end of the day. Having a look, though, at the strategy, we're going to try and stick to the 2-stop here, go quick in the first couple of stints, and then hope we can hang on in there at the end of the day. But we're ready then on the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. The 5 lights are coming on now here in the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. But anyway, it's lights out and away we go there, and rather unsurprisingly, not getting off to a particularly great getaway. They're not actually one of the worst ones we've had in this series, though, in all honesty, as we head down, obviously, the very long run down towards Turn 1. Obviously, the slipstream very much evens everything out there. We're going to try and move back towards the racing line, look towards the outside of Lance Stroll through Turn 1 there. We're going to go side by side through Turn 2, and he bails out, actually, through Turn 3 there. So we are up 1 place off the start of the Grand Prix there. And next up on the old hit list is my teammate Romain Grosjean there. So we've both been able to navigate our way around the Mclaren car as we head down through in towards Sector 2 there. Stroll, though, he's going to try and come back at us, though. You can see, trying to have a look up the inside as we head through the double right-hander there. But luckily we do swing it around the outside. We do hold on to the position there. So we have made progress off the start of this Grand Prix there, as now we look towards the rear of my teammate Romain Grosjean in through Sector 2. You can see almost pushing him in towards the last sector of the lap here. And yeah, fairly successful opening lap. I mean, we've made progress, which is always an optimistic thing in this series. And we haven't got any front wing damage as well, which is always quite critical as well. As we head through the final couple of corners, though, of the opening lap, still all over the back of my teammate. Sebastian Vettel, though, leads the way at the end of lap 1, and he needs a good result here if he wants to try and close down that gap to Max Verstappen in the title fight. You know, only 4 races to go, 3 if you exclude this round of the championship. We are very much into the end game of Season 3 of the F1 2019 Haas Road to Glory career mode. But you can see, on to lap 3 we go, though, still all over the back of my teammate Romain Grosjean, but it's not looking like for much longer there. On the very long run down towards Turn 1 there, just in the slipstream, able to duck out, and yeah, straight up now into P14 of the race here. So making good progress at the start, keeping the tyres in good nick, everything like that. I think the AI generally I've found seem to be a little bit OP on tyre wear. around this circuit, so it might be a bit difficult, but yeah, I mean, we'll continue going on. As you can see, a big gaggle of cars now starting to form just up in front of us here. Lando Norris, both Mercedes, and Carlos Sainz here, and this was actually a battle extending up now into what would be the last points-paying position of the Grand Prix there. As Ricciardo, he looks to try and get up the inside of Lando Norris. I can only guess that the Williams has a bit of damage here at this stage of the race, but we duck into the DRS of Carlos Sainz here. Everyone on the run down towards turn 1, 222 miles an hour as we head in towards the first braking zone there. You can see just locking up the inside wheel there through the first corner, but Norris now and Sainz going side by side. Norris has lost a handful of places so far, and he's about to lose one more as we get incredible traction of turn 3 there. Sainz can't quite get the run there. We have a look to the outside of the Williams man there, and yeah, squeeze him out over the curbs, and we are now up 2 extra places now, up into P12 of this Mexican Grand Prix there. So yeah, really doing quite well in the early stages. But on to the end of lap 6, Devon Butler would get the jump on his teammate Daniel Ricciardo here, so we were just trying to stick with the Mercedes cars as best as possible as we head down the back straight here. You can see though, Lando Norris still able to hang with us. The Mercedes are going to go side by side in towards turn 1 here, so this should be a good opportunity to close up the gap to the pair of them here, ride the curbs as best as possible. Actually, have some contact between Devon Butler and Daniel Ricciardo there, so we're going to duck back into the DRS train here. You can see Ricciardo goes one way, I go the other. We're 3 wide in towards turn 4 though. We're going to have to go for a very aggressive move there. All 3 of us though still trying to keep the nose in. We almost get span around by Daniel Ricciardo there. Somehow just about hold on to it and keep it pointing in the right direction there, and despite a little bit of contact as well with Devon Butler, we do live on with no front wing damage and live to fight another day in this Grand Prix now. As you can see, end of lap 9, Devon Butler had slowly but surely been making a little bit of a breakaway here. You know, he had some good pace at the moment in the Mercedes as we now dive in for our first stop of the day. Get it slowed down nice and tidily into the pit lane there, making a big lockup on the way in, but obviously we shouldn't be using this set of tyres anymore in this race there. So we're going to come in a nice 2.1 second pit stop there, very quickly done by the team. But yeah, we're going to come back out though in the rear of the field, a long way off the rest, but obviously, you know, we're on another set of these soft compounded tyres. The AI potentially we're looking to try and do a one-stop Grand Prix here, so we should be able to try and make big gains over these next couple of laps, and perhaps, maybe just maybe, we can try and get the undercut on Devon Butler as well. As you can see, by the end of lap 13, already starting to make progress in this race. Back up into 18th there is Grosjean, really losing a lot of time over those couple of laps there. Everyone else though is going to be diving in. You can see as we head down the pit lane though, there is Devon Butler going onto a set of the the hard compound tyres even, I should say, but he is a long way behind us there, so we've pulled out, you know, a good sort of 4-5 second undercut in the space of just 3 or 4 laps here. So yeah, we've done a really good job in that situation, and now we've got to try and pull out this advantage. You know, we're still going to have a tyre advantage between now and the end of this Grand Prix, but it wouldn't take long before we would start to get stuck in a bit of traffic here all over the back now of Kimi Raikkonen as we head onto lap 15 of the Grand Prix. We were still doing well at the moment. We were still keeping good pace and just trying to, you know, not make many mistakes, just try and keep it nice, clean and tidy as we head down towards turn 1, up the inside of the Alpha, round the outside of the McLaren there, actually going between the pair of them down in towards turn 1, but I mean, they're on a completely wrecked set of tyres now, so it was a fairly easy pickings for ourselves, and we are now back up into P13 of this Mexican Grand Prix here, so that's exactly what we needed at the moment there. And yeah, just not trying to get stuck behind the AI as best as possible here. Is now on to the end of lap 15. You can see Ricciardo now trying to take a set of the medium compound tyres between now and the end of the Grand Prix there. That is a very tall order in this race, but it might just work out for the AI. We're now back up into P11, and it would soon be P10 as Lando Norris came through for his first pit stop of the day. And yeah, the AI really just able to go so much further on the sets of tyres over myself. It was really difficult to try and hold on with these guys. You know, pace-wise I was fine. It was just trying to keep the tyres in good shape as well as we head through the first couple of corners. So now we need to try and hold on. You know, we need to try and continue building up this advantage. We should have a tyre advantage, obviously, in the latter stages of this Grand Prix, but it wouldn't be long. Lando Norris appeared to have got rid of all the issues that he'd faced at the start of the Grand Prix, because that Williams just, well, as you can see now, flew past us on the run down towards turn 1 there. even despite being on a harder compounded tyres there. Lando Norris, nothing we can do really in terms of defence there. And yeah, it looks like we're going to have to slot back down into P11 of this Grand Prix as we head through turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3 there. Lando going a little bit slow, parking it a bit on the apex I felt, but he does keep it nice and tidy on the exit there, and he's now going to move himself further up the road there as we're going to head on towards the end of lap 21 here. We're able to take the second set of tyres quite a bit further than the first. We're going to dive into the pit lane on the end of this lap here, go on to our set of the hard compound tyres, which should hopefully take us through to the end of this Mexican Grand Prix here. But you can see as we head down into the pit lane, look at the track map. Yellow flags are out as we head through sector 2 there. And that's Nico Hulkenberg, it looks like, put into the side of the racetrack. And that is actually going to deploy a safety car in this Grand Prix. The Hulkenberg confirmed that the safety car now has been deployed. And this could be an absolute race saviour for ourselves at the moment there, because obviously we're now on a fresh set of rubber and we're going to be able to close it to the rest of the field here. And it's going to be intriguing to see the AI. If a safety car comes out late in the Grand Prix, they don't tend to make the extra pit stop here. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see if the AI do decide to pit once again in this Grand Prix. Grosjean, my teammate, as well as Danny Kvyat there, are both going to dive it in, but it doesn't look like anyone else is going to do so in this Grand Prix. So as we head towards the end now of lap 24, we're back up into P13 of this Grand Prix. We've got 12 laps to go, much fresher tyres than the rest of the field here. Could we potentially get ourselves back up into the points there? The safety car is going to get called in very, very late though on the end of this lap, so everyone is going to be very, very tightly bunched as we head through the final couple of corners there. It's going to be green flag racing, and racing once again we go there. Down towards turn 1, everyone now in a slipstream train. Obviously no DRS just yet here in this Grand Prix. Obviously we're going to have to wait another couple of laps before we can do that, but you can already see Butler going very, very slowly down towards turn 1. Didn't quite get the restart that he wanted, but this should now mean as well that we are back in the fight for some points in this Grand Prix there. What a drive it would be in the end. The alternate strategy so far looks to have favoured me at this stage of the day, but we need to try and get past these guys as quickly as possible here. Thought about having a look up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo here, but you can see heading through turn 5 there, get much, much better traction on the exit there, straight up the inside of the Mercedes there. And yeah, now up into P12 of this Grand Prix, so making good progress at the moment, but still obviously we've got another 11 laps to go of this Grand Prix. You know, we can try and make this progress as best as possible. We've got to try and keep the tyres in good nick as well there. As we head through sector 2, you can see just how much more grip we've got over Carlos Sainz and Devon Butler there. Down into sector 3 we go. There's a big, big train of cars starting to form up just up the road there. It looks like Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas having a bit of a battle as we head down in through sector 3, through the stadium section of that lap we go. Can we now get the power down and try to get past Carlos Sainz down this front straightaway? It's going to once again be a very, very tall order there. It actually seems to be Devon Butler that's struggling a bit more on the tyres at the moment as we head down towards someone. The 216 miles an hour without the DRS is quite impressive there. We think about going for a full send on Sainz there. Just lock up both front tyres as we try to get out of it there as we head through turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3 once again. Can we get the power down this time round? You can see Sainz, he's all over the back of Devon Butler here. We're just going to try and slot back in. Think about once again going for the move, but this time around try to slot round the outside. Sainz turns in. Never mind the fact we're on the inside there, so we now move ourselves up into P11 of this Grand Prix. So we're finding a couple of different places where we can make the moves at the moment, but we still definitely need to try and be fighting whilst these guys are all still bunched together, because I mean, if those guys up ahead of Devon Butler space out, you can see already just how quickly they just broke away, and we were not really going to be able to match them in the late stages of this race. Down in towards sector 3 once again we go though, all over the back now of Butler and Norris. And is it looking like Norris might be having the issues that he faced at the start of the Grand Prix? I'm not too sure at the moment, but hopefully we can try and get past him as quickly as possible here, and hopefully before Devon Butler gets past him as well. That's going to be even more critical here. We're both going to have the DRS on the Williams car. Devon Butler, that Mercedes, isn't particularly quick down the straight either. As you can see, he's going to go to the inside. We're going to go to the outside of Lando Norris there. Zonta vibes as we head down towards turn 1 there, but round the outside of the pair of them we go. We are now back up into the top 10 of this Mexican Grand Prix as we head through turn 3 once again. Now we've got Valtteri Bottas a couple of seconds up the road here. We've got 8 laps to go of this race. Can we potentially do any more to try and close up this gap over the next few laps? You know, these guys are still battling. As you can see, lap 31 now, we had slowly but surely closed down that gap. The AI were just battling so much at this stage of the race, and it was Hamilton versus Charles Leclerc at the moment. You know, the Renault team battle really going up a notch as we head on to lap 31 here. 5 laps to go of the Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc is going to lose the 1 place to Lewis Hamilton here now with the DRS. Bottas is going to try and follow him past there, so Leclerc down 2 places almost instantly here. We're going to try and have a look potentially around the outside of the Renault car as well, and do the same sort of move that we did to Carlos Sainz there. And yeah, Charles Leclerc, 3 lost places in 5 corners there. Really not too sure he's going to be very happy in that situation. But you can see now Hamilton and Bottas side by side. Hamilton very aggressive as we head in towards the S's there. Bottas is going to lose out. We're going to be able to get past him as well. So another 2 places made up in the dying stages of this Grand Prix here. Could we potentially make a move on Lewis Hamilton as well? It doesn't look likely. You know, that was, Mercedes, I'm so used to that. That Renault even, I should say, still looking like a very quick package. I'm not too sure what was going on to poor Charles Leclerc there. But you can see now on to lap 35, we were hanging on to Lewis Hamilton's coattails here, and really at the moment, it was more about having his DRS so we could defend from Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas as we now head on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. Is Charles Leclerc going to be able to go for something as we head down towards someone? He's gaining on us as we head in towards the first braking zone. Spot the point, 100 metres. Can we make the move work? Can we hold it? As you can see, Charles Leclerc keeps the nose up the inside. We slam the door shut over the curbs there. Now we need to get good traction out of turn 3 there, and that's exactly what we've done. Charles Leclerc looks to be under more pressure from Valtteri Bottas just behind him. We're going to be safer now as we head in towards sector 2 here, and surely now, unless we make a mistake, we should be safe in this Grand Prix. We just need to keep it tidy. Don't make any mistakes in this final half a lap of the Mexican Grand Prix there. But as we head through in towards the S's for the final time in this Grand Prix, Max Verstappen, unstoppable at the moment, comes through from 5th on the grid to win the Mexican Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly comes through for P2 at the end of the day. There are another one too for the Red Bull team. It's a case of when rather than if at this stage of the championship. 1 lap pace, Racing Point can match them, but over a race distance, Red Bull are a force to be reckoned with. But out of the final corner, it's P7, 6 points on the board, and that is 9 places made up in the Mexican Grand Prix. What a drive at the end of the day. The strategy saved me, but we will take it. You know, you got to take those in the Haas Road to Glory.
Red Bull pulling out all the stops today. What a great win. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. So, let's review the drivers' standings. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. Some amazing talents out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
So there we are then, guys, the end of the Mexican Grand Prix, and it is Max Verstappen, fastest lap and the race victory there, pulls another 8 points over his teammate, 11 over Sebastian Vettel there. Lucas Weber comes through for P4 ahead of Perez, Hamilton, myself, Leclerc, and then Devon Butler picking up a point for Mercedes there as well. I'm sure they're very happy with that one. Sainz in 11th, just missing out ahead of Ricardo. Albon with, I think, genuinely his best result of the Haas Road to Glory career mode there in P13. Grosjean in 14th ahead of Stroll and Lando Norris there with Sainz, and obviously the Alphas and the other Toro Rosso of Kvyat rounding out the point scorers there. We now move back ahead of Lando Norris there, tied on points with 52, back up into 9th place there, the only moving around at the end of that race, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the Drivers' Championship there. And yeah, in the Constructors as well, Red Bull still lead the way there. Like I said, it's a case of when rather than if, especially with that Racing Point retirement there. Albon, though, James Giovinazzi, both still on 0 points at the end of the day there. But yeah, a very, very good race for ourselves. Thank you all so much for watching and sticking around. If you did enjoy, make sure you are subscribed for more of the Haas Road to Glory. Click on the screen as well if you want to see any more videos on this channel. But yeah, we will be back next time for the US Grand Prix.